Well, hello everyone. Welcome to day two of our workshop around the Communities app. And we have Bridget Bartlett. We are talking through so many different concepts and ideas on how to build a community. Let me go ahead and pin myself as well as Bridget here so we can see each other. Okay, awesome. As you are trickling into the Zoom call here, you may notice that our Zoom chat is intentionally turned off. And pretty soon here, Jordan, our beloved community manager, will post a link to the actual streaming itself. That'll be on the Facebook page, High Levels public Facebook page, and we'll watch comments there as we get started. So yesterday we talked about, really the fundamental basis of some items you want to pay attention to in building a community around your coaching program. Whether you're starting off fresh as a new coach, maybe you're a small business owner that is dabbling into becoming an expert in your area or whatnot. But we talked a lot about, the basics that you should have. Today is going to be a bit heavy. Just so you're aware, we're going to go in app. We're going to start building out some cool functions and things and workflows and automations. So I want all of you to buckle up. If you haven't got a chance to say hello, go to the stream itself. There is a link to the stream in the Zoom chat. So click on that. Tell me what city you're checking in from, what industry you're in, and that allows us to get a really good idea of our audience. And let's welcome Bridget back. Bridget, welcome back to day two. We're so excited and grateful that you said yes to this workshop. And I know it's going to be some really cool, neat things that you're going to be showing here today.
You know what, Paulson? Today, I'm going to show almost everything I know about high level in this one session. Okay. Because there's, it's absolutely amazing to me when you get really familiar. And a lot of the times, my students will tell me, like, I was with High Level for 2 years. I've never learned as much in the last few months as I learned before. And that's because I love to make things super simple. So I really challenge myself to talk to the non-techie people. Because look, if you're techie like me, you already get it, right? All I have to do is breeze through it and you get it. But if you're not techie, which is most people, even local business owners, we definitely want to not dumb it down, but we want to simplify it so that the non-techie people don't feel overwhelmed because that's how everybody feels, right? We start talking about all this tech stuff and it's like, oh, I'm done. I'm already exhausted. I don't even know. Like, I'm super overwhelmed. And so that's why yesterday I really went light on you. I just wanted you to think about your offers, your value ladder, your branding, all of those things. And I gave you guys some homework. So let's kind of recap what we talked about yesterday.
That'd be
And
awesome.
um, and then we're gonna dive right in. We're gonna get to
Yeah.
business.
I
All
see a
right.
ton of people telling us what city they're in, state they're checking in from. Even if you're international, by the way, I know it's late hours or early morning hours for you. We appreciate you being here. I promise you, you're going to learn a lot, especially if high level is overwhelming, which I get it. I'm not a techie myself, so Bridget's my best friend today because I need the elementary explanations because I couldn't tell you how to zap two things properly. So I'm excited for this. So appreciate you all giving us feedback and commenting and things like that. It helps us quite a bit to teach at a new energy level.
Yeah, and I definitely I totally agree. It's super overwhelming, but the thing that I love about high level is that it doesn't have to be. You have all of these options, right? You if you try to be an expert in a week, you're going to be just super overwhelmed. But I just encourage you only learn the things that you need to learn to accomplish the task at hand, okay? So when you're a coach, what you need is like a website. You need, your communities. You need your calendar. You need these specific things I'm going to go through with you today. And I have a SOP for you. You guys are going to get all of this stuff. But let's quickly dive in here. I'm going to share
Yeah,
my screen. Hopefully you guys can see the slide here. So
absolutely.
cool. Okay, so we are talking about creating and automating high-level communities to build your coaching business. So today we're talking about setting up the system and customizing. So as I go through these steps, keep in mind I'm not just showing you how to do this, okay? Hopefully, I'm broadening your horizons and I'm helping you to think about when you're onboarding clients, okay? If you're a coach and you have, let's say that you're a coach for lawn care business owners or mortgage brokers or real estate agents or whatever you are experienced in coaching. You want to build the system that works for you. And then you're going to get to, because we all do, you're going to get to this point where you realize everybody needs this system I built because it's so amazing and it saves me so much time. And now you're leveling up your business, right? You're going from being in the weeds to now you're really coaching and providing systems for other people who struggled with all the things that you struggled with. So I love the idea of coaching people from our own experiences because you can understand them at a level that most people cannot. So getting their pain points and understanding what they need in the future is so easy when you've already been there. So I'm just going to recap the value ladder here. We talked about like our free communities. So it's basically our lead magnet. All of our content that we're creating, we're saying, hey, and if you like this, go to my free community. One of the things I love too is giving away things as I'm doing training. Maybe it's like a snapshot, or maybe it's a guide, or maybe it's something that I created in the training to trying to explain things. And I love to say, and hey, if you're in our free community, go ahead and or if you're not in our community, go ahead and go and you can get this, right? So we're constantly just encouraging to join our free community. Now, once they're inside there, we already have their email address, and of course they're going to see the little link to, hey, do you want to join this community? Because we can toggle between. And then the paid community obviously is going to have more benefits. Maybe even like for my community, I offer a weekly group coaching that I do live stream to all of my platforms, which really helps your members if they're trying to get notoriety too. It's a certain level of positioning. It's really strange how we see things online and we think, oh, that person's in that community, they must be successful, right? So it really does help them a lot. And when I went to the Level Up Summit, a lot of people were asking me about my members because they recognize them from our weekly Q&A. So it's actually a really big benefit for them. And then also we want to provide something in addition to that, okay? And software is a great option. And you could be a reseller or an affiliate. It's just a great way of monetizing. And you may have multiple softwares and you may have multiple affiliate offers, and you may do a combination of all of them, because really what we're trying to do is provide value to our clients. What do they need? Okay. And then also, we're going to talk about private coaching. I said yesterday, I don't like private coaching. Now, it's not that I don't like private coaching. Obviously, I love coaching. And what really excites me is giving them the value, that more value than they expected in the call in the first 15 minutes. I literally have people hanging up after 20 minutes because they're blown away. They're like, I got everything I needed. So I love that. That is like fuel to my fire. But the thing about private coaching is that that blocks out a time of your day. Okay. I'm literally saying when you book a session with me, what I'm saying is this hour and this day is going to be dedicated to you, not anyone else. I'm not working on my business. I'm not talking to my husband. I'm not playing with my dogs or doing dishes. I am dedicating this hour to you. And so, since you can do nothing else, that needs to be high value. That is your time. It's irreplaceable. It is seriously irreplaceable, and you can't duplicate yourself. As much as I'd love to, you can't. So that's why we need HighLevel to duplicate all of these processes for us so that we can save ourselves for the things that we can't duplicate. And then inevitably, people need services, okay? And you may not even be familiar with the services or even have an interest in doing the services, but you can make partner dealers or partnerships. I can't talk today. Go to the directory, go to directory.gohighlevel.com. There's certified partners in there that you could partner with and provide services and all that. So you're not bogged down in the weeds. Because remember, what we're trying to do as coaches, we're trying to create a business where we can work and build our day how we want it. So we want to maximize that passive recurring income as much as possible. So then, just to recap quickly what we talked about the branding, and you're going to see why I wanted you guys to think about all this and gave you this homework. You want to choose your color palette, okay? Choosing these things is going to help you, especially if you put them in the checklist that I gave you, because you need a light, dark, and bright colors. Doing all these things ahead of time is going to save you so much time because whether you're creating banners for social media or you're outsourcing it, you need to have all of these things in place, and thinking about it all together as like your homework is going to make sure that all of this is congruent and that you're prepared and you're ready to move on to the next step. So same thing with creating a logo, a light and a dark version. And if you don't like know how to do any of this, just outsource it. Okay. You can go to lots of freelancer websites and they can create logos for you for like $10. You also need a headshot because obviously you're the coach. We're branding you. Okay. You need to have your coaching business, but on social media, it's all about you. It's not about a business. We want to interact with people, not businesses. Okay. So then I talked about the domains, and really, as a coach, you want to have a business domain. This is what's going to be your main business. It's going to be really professional. You want to have all the things that you offer on this main website, the main domain. But when you're on social media, you want, like I said, you want to be branding yourself. So it's great to have your own name because then, people are going to remember that, right? So if I say go to bridgetbartlett.com, you're going to remember that because we've been talking, you've been getting to know me, even if it's through video, and you're like, oh yeah, that's Bridget Bartlett. But if I say, oh, go to myvisionagency.com, that may escape your brain in 5 seconds. You probably don't even remember it now, just to prove my point. So you want to make sure that you have your name as a domain, but then of course that's always going to lead back to your business. So that's what I'm going to show you today. Okay, so tomorrow, what we're going to talk about is my 4-hour workday strategy. I have built a business based on a 4-hour workday. And the reason that I do that is because I don't want to my life is not my business. I love, love, love what I do so much. And it doesn't mean that I only work 4 hours a day. There are sometimes I work many more hours, but I want to structure my day so that in 4 hours, I get the bulk of everything. And if you are working a job right now while you're trying to build your business, this is absolutely crucial that you streamline your processes as much as possible to save yourself the time. Because if you don't have the time, it's not going to get done. Okay. So we want to build a day that we can actually accomplish consistently. Okay. Consistency is the key to all of it. All right. So before I dive into this, you're going to see that I'm going to show you the funnels and the workflows and the SOP and the checklist and all these things that I'm going to give you. Okay. So you definitely, obviously, to use the funnels and workflows on HighLevel, you need to have a HighLevel account. So you can go to gohighlevel.com/Bridget Bartlett workshop, and you're going to, you'll be able to create a free trial. What you're going to get is this whole system I'm showing you today, but you're also going to be you're going to have the opportunity to join me for open office hours 4 days a week. Okay. And you're also going to join our free community that I have. Okay.
Actually, Bridget, just real quick,
Yeah.
I think that's the registration.
Oh,
Um,
what is it
that's a
now?
re
Is it?
that's a registration for the event itself, but the
Yeah.
offer link I just threw it into the Zoom chat, which is
Okay.
really close actually. It's gohighlevel.com/Bridget Bartlett offer, right?
Okay.
And
So,
the reason why we have that, everyone, is because we want to track Bridget's regular affiliate traffic versus the workshop trials. So the workshop trials, you do get additional bonuses based on the workshop itself. So we want to make sure you receive all of it. So the actual link, I just threw it into the Zoom, which is you can just basically, instead of workshop, you want to just replace that with offer.
yeah.
If you want to
So,
update your slides, you can. Feel free.
so sorry about that, you guys. I'm,
No
I'm in my
worries.
presenter screen, so I don't want to waste all your time while I do it, but go highlevel.com/Bridget
Bartlett
Bartlett offer,
offer.
not
Yeah.
workshop. Okay. Bridget Bartlett offer. All right. Now also, so let me go back here actually. Okay, so also what I'm going to give you though is my standard bonuses for high level. You're going to get all of this stuff, which is totally separate from this is all just special because you guys are with high level and I love you all. All of these things I'm going to show you today, you're going to get. Now, again, go to gohighlevel.com/Bridget Bartlett offer, not workshop. Sorry about that. And so you're going to get, as my high level affiliate, because I am your coach, you're going to get access to my paid community, my weekly group coaching, our done for you system, and we have additional white label software that you can resell, which, as I talked about the value ladder, you always want to think about like, go high level is so great. But a lot of people are selling high level, and high level is growing and getting better and better and better, and more people are learning about it. So you want to provide something in addition, which I love the coaching aspect of that, providing additional value. But you can also provide additional software and add to the value that you are creating inside of your high level account for your clients. But look, I love to reward action takers so much. I love action takers. And so if you guys create a high level, and again, go to highlevel.com/Bridget Bartlett offer, not workshop. But if you guys create a high level trial in the next 12 hours, okay, so at midnight tonight, New York time, I'm going to shut this off. Tomorrow, what we're going to do is a drawing for everyone who created a high level trial. And then I'm going to give you a chance to win a private consultation with me. A lot of the times, look, this is my most valuable asset, as I just told you. So when I'm thinking about what can I do to reward action takers, I really want to give you my most valuable asset, because I know the people who are going to take action today are going to take that and make the most of it, right? I don't want to waste my time. I only want serious people who are ready to build their business on high level and catapult their success and scale without all of these additional things that we all have to, all the wasted time and misdirection and all those things that we as coaches want to eliminate, okay? So let's go ahead and onboard ourselves. All right. So here is the checklist that we talked about yesterday. Okay. This is basically an SOP. And so when you guys are thinking about the duplication process, of course you can follow this for yourself, and that's great. But as your coach, being a high level agency owner, you definitely want to maximize the benefits of the duplication, right? So we've created this awesome system. So me as your coach, like teaching coaches, right? Because obviously you guys are coaches if you want to build your coaching business in a community. So if I am your coach, and I want to provide a system that you guys can use to help your business, right? So this is what you would do as a coach. You would provide or create a system that helps you, but also helps people just like you, okay? Now, I talked about yesterday registering your domains, and I recommended that you have your own name. Okay. So I have bridgetbartlett.com. I also have my business name. But if you don't have that, and I'm not going to do that today just because I didn't want to purchase two domains and then go through that. But you can also do a subdomain. Okay. So in this example, I'm going to do a subdomain, but you want to just connect your main domain. Or if you don't have one or whatever reason, you can do a subdomain. And I'm going to show you all that today. And then of course we have our business domain here. And then I also said we want to create a professional email address. Don't use Gmail. And especially with high level, we have the ability to send from our business name. That helps with email delivery, but it also helps with professionalism. Okay. If I see a business using Gmail, I instantly think they must not be very successful or professional. Okay. Now, one of the things I love Cloudflare and I love Google Workspace, but if you guys don't know, how to do all that, I've added this playlist here. I did a whole series. I'm not affiliated with them in any way. I make no money from referring them. It's just my favorite. All right. So choose the color palette. Okay. So we talked about color palettes yesterday. So we need 3 colors. We need a darker color. We need maybe a lighter color and then a bright color. And this is what we're going to do to customize our system. And remember, I built this for you guys. So me as your coach, I'm now onboarding you. So even if I was providing the service for you and you were not doing this yourself, these are the steps that I would go through. Okay. So that's why I want to keep reminding you of that. This isn't just about onboarding you. This is the process we would go through when we get a client and we want to onboard them. So now we also have the create a logo. And of course, we need a dark and a light version, create a headshot, and then create a favicon. And you'll see here it says upload all of these to the media gallery. Okay, so let's just do that before I move on to day 3. So here we are into actually, I can't even do that. I'm so sorry. I've created this. We're going to have to wait because I need to load the snapshot and everything in there. Duh, Bridget, follow your own SOP. So what I want to do here is you'll see I've uploaded all of these things. Okay. So I have my logo, I have my favicon and my headshot and all of that. I've uploaded this all to my folder. And now I need to continue to day 2. Okay. So the very first step you'll see here is I need to import my snapshot. So I'm just going to click here. Now, the snapshot is that system that I told you about, which contains it contains like the opportunities pipeline. It contains the 2 different websites that we're referring to. It contains the automations here. It contains a couple courses that I have for you as just sample courses that you may want to create. So all of these things are built into the snapshot. And you'll see if we go to the settings tab here, we have like custom values. And this is the magic of HighLevel. Okay, so this is what's really going to enable us to automatically get this account set up. All right. So now you'll see I've clicked that button and you've seen it says import now. Now, if you guys go here, let me copy this because I get this question a lot. Let me open up an incognito window. If you guys go here, when you load the snapshot, you're going to see that this is like you need to create a 14-day trial. If you're already a HighLevel member, all you need to do is click here and log in, and then you're going to see everything that we're seeing. Okay, so if you're logged in there, just know, or if you see that screen, just know you're not logged into HighLevel, and so you do need to get logged in to be able to transfer that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and say, yes, I want to import this into my account. And then you'll see when you import that snapshot, we have a long list. You can see I've already been playing around with this. So now we have a long list of imported snapshots. And of course, all the snapshots you create are here, all the shared ones, and then all the templates that you have available. So you can see I am really deep into my HighLevel account. So let's go into the sub accounts, and I need to stop sharing here because this is my real live account and I don't want to share any client information. So now let me share again. All right, so I am in my sub account section here, and you'll see the way that HighLevel is designed is it's basically you have the admin account, okay? And then you can create sub accounts, which are user accounts inside of your main account. So I have branded my main agency account as Vision. I have it purple. I have, all these additional things that I've added there. I can do that as the agency owner. And you'll see that you're in the agency account because you see all of these options here, and there are no tools. All the tools are available inside of the sub account. So what I want to do is I want to create a brand new sub account. Okay. Now, I recommend that you guys do create a new sub account anytime that you're loading a snapshot, whether it's mine or anyone else's, because if you already have a business built, like your own sub account that you're working in and all that, you want to definitely import into a different one so you don't cause any conflicts, and then make your decision from there. You can always say, okay, I don't think this is going to conflict with my account or any of my workflows, and it will tell you as well. And we'll talk about that just a second. So let's go ahead and create a new sub account. And you'll see here, I can create from a blank snapshot. I can create from any of these options available. These are pre-built snapshots for that HighLevel provides for you. Okay, so this is no extra cost. It's just already in your account. So what I want to do, and what you guys would do, is go to imported snapshots, and you will see I have tons of them. You won't see all of these, but you'll want to go to the one that says Coaching Snapshot Bridget Bartlett. Okay, so now I'm going to click Select. And now you'll see it's asking us to create an account. Okay, now my business is on Google. So you can see if I go type in my Vision Agency, that my business comes up here. So I don't need to like enter a bunch of info. If I didn't have that business come up here, my own or a client's, I could just click here to add manually. To save time, I'm just going to select my own business, and then we'll give it a different name. for the account. Okay. So let it load up here for just a second. And now I'm just going to give the business owner's name. So this case, it's going to be Jane Doe. And we have our email address that we created. So let's go back here. Okay, so you're already seeing why just having this stuff in one place makes it super simple. All right, so I'm just going to add my email address here. We have our address. I'm just going to call this test coach. That's going to be the business name. I should spell it right though. That would be good. And then we have the address here. We can choose a business niche and all of that. We need to add a phone number in here. I'm just going to add like a dummy number. And then we can save. All right, so now we filled out the business information. So now we're creating this sub account or this user account inside of our branded agency. So it's going to create the account here, and you'll see now we have more options. All right, so we can add them to the SAS plan. And if you guys are unfamiliar with the SAS plan, it's basically like automation on steroids. Okay, you have the ability to a rebill for email credits and texting credits and phone calls and AI generation and all kinds of cool things. And the system does that automatically. Now you can be on the 97 or the 297 plan, and you will still like the 297 plan, you'll have unlimited accounts, unlimited user accounts. But the magic is really in the SAS plan, you guys. And we're talking about $200 a month. And if you have lots of clients, you're not going to be able to pay someone $200 a month to do all the duplication and tracking that the SAS plan provides. Okay, so if you have lots of clients and you want to maximize the rebilling, you really honestly need to be on the SAS plan. Okay, so then we
And
have
Bridget,
user
real
limits.
quick, can you
Sorry.
do you mind speaking to the business model of SaaS versus affiliate real quick for 30 seconds? Like what are the benefits and pros and cons on that before we go any further on SaaS?
So the benefits is when I'm talking about you want to create like reoccurring income. And honestly, I always say I would rather show than tell. So let me actually just go into the SAS configurator, and I think that it will help you see it to really understand how it all works here. So let me get into my
Thank you for
SAS
doing this,
configurator.
by the way. I don't mean to derail you on the
No,
agenda.
you're good. You're good. So you can see here the SAS configurator. Okay, so this is what we have available at the highest level of HighLevel. Okay, now we can create our own plans, and I'm just going to dive into this plan here, and you can see this is my actual real plan. Okay, so I have the $97 plan is my absolute lowest plan. Okay, now you'll see here that I can toggle over user limits. I can toggle over like contact limits, and the SAS plan will create these plans with these limits that I have put in here. Okay, so it's basically building an automated system so that when they purchase this specific product, it's going to do all the things I've configured it to do. If I don't have the SAS plan, I'm going to have to come in here and manually, every time I get a new client, I'll manually go into their account, and then I will manually set these user limits. Okay, so if you're only getting like one new client a month, not a big deal. But if you're getting multiple clients, and my goal is to help you get multiple clients, the SaaS plan is a no-brainer. Okay. So you also have these features here. Now, again, with the non-SaaS plans, you can say, with this plan, I want to have, I want them to have access to two-way texting and GMB messaging and web chat and all of that. Okay. Now you can, again, if you can just create a product and say, I want these things to be in this plan. And then you can manually go in every time you have a new client, and you can toggle their permissions and all that to make sure they only have access to these plans. But if you want to automate all of that and say, when they purchase this plan, they're immediately going to have unlimited users and contacts. They're immediately going to have access to all of these tools that are highlighted in blue. And if I didn't want the affiliate manager, for example, I could just unselect that.
Got it.
Then, I'm sorry.
And just for an overview, like an aerial view of this, what Bridget is saying is high level allows you to take high level features and democratize the software industry by you not having to go put together a bunch of coders and engineers to develop features. You can take the high level features that you can choose. There's so many to choose from, and go build out your own software plans. Go out to the market and sell a software subscription by setting that up in the SAS configurator.
Yeah, and it's you guys, it's I I geek out over automation because like I've said 100 times, time is our most valuable asset. We can't get it back and we can't create more. Okay. So when you're thinking about ways to invest in your business, be thinking about how can I save time? Now, like I said, if you've never had a client before, the $97 plan is great for you because you can build your own business, you can build up to getting clients. But if you're already getting clients or you already have had experience in a coaching business and you're like, I know as soon as I get this set up, I'm going to be like gangbusters, go all in with SAS. It'll save you so much time because you're only setting up your system once and you're good to go, right? Then it's just a matter of getting leads, just putting leads through your system. Another thing about what's cool about the SAS configurator is a lot of people ask, how do I create trials? All of that is also taken care of here in the SAS configurator. Okay. And then you can also choose each individual tool. And these are all the tools that we have the ability to create reoccurring income from, right? These are all like uh, upsells essentially without saying it's an upsell, for example. So if we want to, and I definitely recommend don't do any less than 3x. You have transaction fees, you have taxes, whatever. So you definitely want to make sure you're at least upcharging, 3 times, but you could make it up to 10 times if you really want to. I see a lot of people charging a low monthly subscription and then charging more for the credits and things. So really, I don't want to overwhelm you with the options, but just know if you have a business model, chances are HighLevel can accommodate. So it's real easy to see here. So we're marking up 3x and it tells you very specifically, this is what you're being charged. This is what you're being charged, or what the customer is being charged. $10 will give you about this, and then this is your profit. So as you move this around, you'll be able to see, for example, if I move this all the way up to 7.5, now you'll see this has changed. So I know exactly what I'm being charged, the customer's being charged, and what my profit is. So what I did with my agency is I literally just copied all this and made an account page. So I'm very transparent about all of my fees and all of those things. So anyway, that's just what I did. And you'll see here that you have emails and you have LC verification, which LC is lead connector, high level system. So they manage all of the compliance stuff for you, which thank the Lord above. And then content AI for all of the live chat bot and all of those things, the AI workflow. There's premium triggers that are like life-saving. And those premium triggers, not all of them, of course, but there are specific premium triggers that do use credits. And so you can see the charges for that, the conversation AI, WhatsApp, and of course the reviews AI, because how crazy is it that we can actually have AI respond to our reviews? Oh my gosh, so amazing. Okay, so that is the HighLevel SAS configurator. Okay, so you'll see here that we can, and back inside of the sub account that we were working in, you'll see here that these would be all of like the manual actions. Okay. So we even have a marketplace with all of the amazing HighLevel companies that build all of these cool tools that can go with HighLevel. And then of course we have some advanced settings here. Okay. So all of this that you see here, again, on the $297 or $97 plan, you can manually set this for your clients, but the SAS configurator, as soon as they purchase that plan, or that product that you create in the SAS configurator, the system automatically sends an email, automatically creates their sub account, automatically creates the user with all the permissions that you've told it to create, and then it sends the emails for you. So literally, you're doing nothing at that point. So what I'm going to do now is, now that we have gone through that detail, I'm going to go ahead and go into the sub account. Okay, so now we're inside of the sub account that we just created and we loaded our snapshot into. So if I go into the automations tab here, you'll see now it was a blank account, but now it has all of my cool automations. It has my websites in here. And what's cool about this is you can see, let me go back into this. Okay. Let me go. Let me stop sharing for just 1 second because I wanted to show you if you have an existing account and you want to load this, I wanted to show you what actually goes into the snapshot here. All right. So if you have this demo coaching account. Let's just say this is the account I want to load my snapshot into. You can click these three dots and you'll see manage client. And then now we're back into that screen that I was just in. And this is where you would want to load the existing snapshot. So if I click actions and load snapshot, you can see that now I see all of my imported snapshots. I see all of the ones that I own. So since I imported this, I would go to imported snapshot, click here, and you can click proceed. And then you'll see, you can literally expand this and you can see every single aspect of this funnel or of this snapshot. Okay, so let's say that I want to load all of this on top of this account. So if I clicked proceed here, then you'll see if there are any conflicts. Now, obviously there's lots because I've already loaded this snapshot in there. So if I wanted to override, I could click here or skip all. Okay, so that's really important to know because a lot of times I get this question a lot, but a lot of times maybe something didn't load like we wanted, or maybe we deleted something that was in the snapshot and we're like, oh, we need that. You can actually just come right back here, go into the snapshot. And like, for example, let's say I want to go into the snapshot and I wanted to, let's go to the imported one. Wherever that was at, and proceed. Let's say that I accidentally deleted the calendar. Okay, I could just do skip all, click here, and then select only the calendar, and then proceed, and then load that into my account. Okay, so so cool. Okay, so let's actually get into the account now. So we have all of our assets in here, and going back to our let me close this out. So going back to our checklist SOP here, we need to upload these assets into our folder. Okay, so I'm going to go now to media storage, and I just want to take all of these assets that I've created. I'm actually, I don't need this. Let's add this logo here. Let's add this other logo. Let's go back here. And now we need to add this favicon. I'm going to just select both of these and then we can drag those in there. Okay. So now we have our headshot, we have this favicon, and then we have the two logos. So let's check here. All right, so we have the logo, we have the headshot, and we have the favicon. All right, good to go. Now we are moving on to day 2. We've imported the snapshot here, and we have loaded it into a new or existing account. So the next thing that we need to do is connect the payment gateway. So now I'm going to go to payments, I'm going to go to integrations, and you can see all of the different options that we have available to use with our system. I'm going to use Stripe. So I'm going to go ahead and connect Stripe. And now I'm going to connect to my test account. So I'm going to go ahead, get logged in here, go into the test account. And now that's all I need to do to connect Stripe. All right, so my Stripe account is connected. Let's go back to our SOP here, and now we need to configure our calendar. So I'm going to go back into the account. I'm going to go to calendars, and if I had my Google account connected, I could see all of my appointments and all of that stuff here. I can also see a list of my appointments here, and if I want to go into the calendar settings, I can click here, and then all of my calendars will be here. These are like individual calendars. These are group calendars. We can actually build, I describe it like an e-commerce store for appointments. Okay, so like if you have a salon or something like that, super great. I have tons of training on all of these different calendars. We can also rent out, I guess, or book rooms and different equipment as well. But just to keep it simple, we're going to now configure our calendar that's already in your account because it was part of the snapshot that we loaded. So here you have lots of customization. So, we could add our own logo there. We could add a description. We could change the link here. We could change all the colors. The thing that you need to be concerned about here, though, is the availability. So what hours are you going to be available? And this is where I talk about we need to think about when not just like, oh, I'm going to be available 24 hours a day, okay? Because that's not realistic and you can't keep up with that, especially if you have a job or a family or like other things that you're doing. You may even have other businesses or projects. So we need to really think about what hours are you going to make yourself available for these appointments? Maybe a month goes by if you're a brand new coach and no one is booked, but it doesn't matter. You need to be choosing a time that's consistent that you are going to make yourself available. Okay. So let's say that I'm busy on Mondays and I can't do that. And let's say on Wednesdays, I can only do appointments from 11 a.m. to 3. And then let's say these are good on these days. Okay. So now I'm good. Now, the goal of this calendar is to charge for booking appointments. We're not doing sales calls. We're not doing demos. We're not doing free consultations. Okay. That takes your time. That's your most valuable asset. So we're going to use our communities. I'm going to go all over this tomorrow, but it's your most valuable asset. So if they're booking a time on your schedule, they need to pay. Okay. So we can choose our interval here, the meeting duration, how many days before the appointment do we want to allow them to schedule? I don't like to allow people to book more than 14 days out. It's not so serious if it's a paid appointment because chances are they're going to show up for that paid appointment. But if it's a free demo or something like that you're doing, I would never put it past 14 days because the chances of them even remembering what that they booked an appointment with you, and of course you can send reminders, but it's not that important to them weeks later. You know, when they decide to book with you, they've probably seen like a video you've done or landed on your website or something compelled them to want to book that appointment. So we definitely want to make sure that we're fresh in their mind when those reminders start rolling around to say, hey, did you know you have an appointment? And if it's more than 14 days, I just feel like that's the incentive and the drive has kind of gone away unless you've done a really great job of following up with them. Also, we have booking appointments per day. How many bookings per slot? Do you want buffer time before or after? The main thing here, though, is we need to make sure that we are choosing our time. So we can customize the questions that we're asking when they're booking. We can choose where we want them to go to redirect. But here's the part that we need to make sure to put in. Okay. And this is accepting the payment. So, what do you want to charge for your coaching session? Okay. If they're doing an hour, what is your time worth to you? And you have to think it's not really about like, what is your time worth to you? It's really about the numbers, right? So if you're looking at your numbers and you're like, really most of my sales come from this, then that's what you want to focus on, right? Most of my sales come from the reoccur, like the subscription, my community, the coaching program, and all of that. Not so much the private consultation. So why, if that was the case, and that's how I built my business around it, I want to make sure that that being my most precious asset, that I am charging appropriately. Now, like I said yesterday, my first coaching sessions, I was super insecure about my skills and my knowledge, and I didn't know, do I have enough knowledge to be able to help them 10x what they're paying me? Okay. Meaning, if I'm charging $47 for a private coaching session, which literally I did, my first coaching sessions were $47. I wanted to make sure that I could give them enough value that it would be worth $470. Okay. So this is how I like to think about, because the last thing I want to do, I have so much free value. If I'm asking for your money for something, it better be good. That's how I feel about it. All right. So let's say
Absolutely.
497. Did you say something, Paulson?
Yeah, I was gonna say, whenever I look at and I don't mean to offend anybody if I do, whenever I see coaches out there with offers where they're selling time, I already know either they're not, you know, matured in business or they have too much time where nobody is really taking advantage of their offer, or they're brand new. Like it's a red flag in my mind if I go to a coach's page and they're selling time in general. So even if you have like a coaching consultative kind of a thing, I am on the side of not putting a price there, but letting them know this has a cost attached to it and having maybe like an appointment set or filter that out and then customizing a price based on the need that you're solving. That's the way I personally would do it, but that doesn't mean that's the right way all the time. But remember, there's three different business models in general: the do it yourself, the done with you, and the done for you. The do it yourself is the best one because you don't have to really spend time. Your customer is doing it themselves. They're navigating through. That's really the subscription way to look at it. The done with you means I have to sell hours. I don't want to sell hours, even if that means that's my team's hours. The done for you means I'm gonna have to spend hours for you. Neither of them are long-term, like scalable models. So think about ways to automate the fulfillment, automate the entire, the you don't want to lift a finger to really, really fulfill your offers. And that's the way you want to look at scaling a business. But let me get out of the way again and keep going, keep going.
No, no, you're good. You're good. Yeah, and you're so right. I mean, and in reality, there's a million and one ways to do something. You just really have to find whatever's going to work for you. And we all have different business models. So as much as I would love to create a system and a training here that will accommodate every single business owner, it's really just impossible, right? So definitely lots of options. For me, I love to, and we'll talk more about this tomorrow, but I have zero. If you guys go to bridgetbartley.com, you'll see my price for private consultations. I'm so obvious about it. And you'll see why tomorrow. How if you build this community of people who know, like, and trust you, you could put $9,000 an hour and they're going to book because they already know you. They already are so familiar with the value. When they see that price, they're going to be like, okay, that's the price. But I think if I could get answers to these questions, it would be worth $4,997. That's what I want to portray. So, of course, whatever price that you choose, toggle this on so that it's live. That's an important part. And then, of course, we're going to save. But let's make sure, let's go back to our SOP and let's make sure that we have added all the things here. Okay, so we've chosen our available times and days, and we've chosen our price for booking. So now we need to customize the automation workflow emails. Okay, so we're done here on the calendar. I'm going to go ahead and save. We are good to go. I'm going to go back now to the automations, and you'll see when we click on there that I've already added some appointment reminders for you. So with the HighLevel workflows, everything starts with a trigger. Okay, so obviously, if we're following the customer journey when they book an appointment, that's the trigger. So, what happens when we book an appointment? Well, it's going to be here, it's a new event and it is confirmed. Okay, now in the calendar, you want to go back here and you want to make sure. I just want to address this because I want to make sure that you guys know this in case you have any issues. I don't want to just show you the system. I want to show you how to use it and troubleshoot it and empower you with the knowledge to do that so that you're not spending 25 hours figuring out why your automations aren't triggering. So I'm going to go here to, let me find it here. It is forms of payment here. If that is not firing, it's because somehow this got turned on. Now, by default, it's turned on. But if for some reason that's not firing, it's probably this, because there is the option. Let's say people are booking and it's free and you want to make sure that they've pre-qualified themselves with questions. You can set this up to manually approve or confirm the meeting. But if they're paying, I just auto confirm. So if you see or experience that issue, just know you want to come back and make sure that this is toggled on. Okay. So inside of our automations now, we have the appointment reminders. So when they book an appointment, it's going to trigger this workflow. Okay. Now, the very first thing that's
Bridget,
going
I'm
to
sorry.
happen.
Do you mind zooming into maybe 144 on the left-sided zoom toggle there? Or maybe too much. Um,
Is that good there?
yeah, that's better. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay. So our trigger here is the appointment status. Okay, so we have every time we have a confirmed appointment, it's going to trigger this workflow. Okay, now we can also see if you look in the enrollment history, again, this is another way to troubleshoot. You can see all the actions taken in this workflow. But the very first step here, every time an appointment is booked as confirmed, it's going to send this email. So we've already used custom values. These are my favorite thing about HighLevel, because these custom values allow us to create snapshots and systems that will pre-fill in different information. Okay. So, for example, I wanted the location name or the sub account's business name to auto populate here inside of the snapshot. So, you guys don't need to add this. What you're seeing here is what I've added for you. Okay. Now, to add your own, you just simply click here and like, I want the account name. So, I would just add that. Okay. So, super, super simple. So, you'll see custom values all throughout this account. And that's what these are, just easy ways for us to add so much duplication. It's shocking. Okay. So we have the affirmed appointment and then or affirmed appointment. I don't know why I can't talk today. So your appointment has been confirmed for the appointment start, date, time, and of course the meeting location, which is set in the user profile. All right, so the next step here, 24 hours before the appointment, we are going to send another email. Okay, again, everything is filled in with the custom values so that you don't need to do anything there. And then 1 hour before the appointment, we're going to send another message, and it's going to be this email here. Now, we do have the ability to send text messages in here, which is absolutely great. It's such a great reminder. I know as a user, I love to be texted when it's time for the appointment just to say, hey, heads up. But I set this up only for emails because in my instructions, I didn't go through the setting up the phone number, and it's not something that's required, but you definitely want to set up your phone number. And I have tons of training on this. You can also go to help.gohighlevel.com to access the knowledge base. Tons and tons of training there. All right. So we're going to send another email. We're going to wait 5 minutes. We're going to send another reminder email. We're going to wait 75 minutes, and then we're going to send a review request. Do not underestimate the power of reviews for your coaching business, because I promise you what's cool about, I had a local business and I had my coaching business, right? What's cool about a local business is people love to give you reviews if you do great service. And sometimes it takes a little bit more prompting to get them to leave the reviews. But when you're a coach, you're working so closely with people that it's like if you've helped them a lot and you've done a great job, they just almost feel compelled to do something nice back for you. And they also love, we just as people, we love to tell others when we've had a great experience about something. Like I was talking about yesterday, if you go to a restaurant and you have the best meal ever, you're taking pictures on social media, you are telling people about it, you're like, oh my gosh, this is the best ever, and you're recommending, and you just naturally want to leave a great tip because you're just so happy. So we definitely want to utilize the sending review, and we'll get this set up tomorrow. But you definitely want to include that. It's been so much easier for me to get reviews as a coach than it was for me to get reviews as a local business. So
I'm
do
actually
not
kind of
underestimate.
Yeah,
Go
I'm
ahead.
actually kind of curious of how many people have already implemented reviews in general in their business, or they're in the process of it, or they're interested in it. Give me a one in the chat if reviews is something that you are wanting to implement if you haven't already, or maybe you have it going already and you're starting to collect a lot of reviews because it obviously builds a lot of social proof on autopilot. So give us a one in the chat if that is you that, in general, this is something that you want to implement. So what else is happening at this point with the reminders?
Okay. So this is what we're doing just for appointment reminders. Okay. That's the workflow we're working through with that. All right. Now, moving on, like in the customer journey, okay, or actually with our little SOP here. We talked about the calendars, we talked about the automations, and so now we're at the connect domains. Oh my gosh, over the last year, HighLevel has made this so easy. Oh my gosh, I wish this was available when I first started with HighLevel. So, so cool. So let's go down to the settings here because this really overwhelms a lot of people, and I just feel like, oh my gosh, you guys have just made this so easy. So let's go back now. We have our funnel. Okay. So we remember yesterday, I told you we have two funnels. We have like the very simple bio link funnel that we would want to connect to our personal name. Like I have bridgetbartlett.com. And then we have our business funnel. So this is everything that we offer, everything about our coaching program, our plans, and all of those things. And then we have that domain. Okay. But like I said in this example, we're going to create a subdomain because that's also something you can do, even though I really encourage you to do your your name because it's just so much easier to remember and it looks better on social media because it's like, oh, there's Bridget Bartlett, there's bridgetbartlett.com. It's just I don't know, maybe it's me. It's a mental thing. Okay, so we have our bio link here. So let's go, and what we want to do is add our domain. So I'm going to click here. Now you can see I've purchased a domain here at Cloudflare. It is what I recommend. It's also free. So I'm going to paste this here. Your domain's not free, but the service is free. Now, when you paste this in, you'll see that HighLevel will redirect the www version for you. Okay, so every main root domain also has a www version that needs to be redirected. And sometimes it's like super techy and like really complicated and it overwhelms people a lot because there were other steps that you have to complete to do this. But look, HighLevel makes this so easy. We just type that in there, toggle that on, click continue. Now it's going to add both of those records to Cloudflare for us and connect our domain.
By the way, those of you that are watching and you never have seen High Level, while we're sharing our screen on a live Zoom call, High Level typically naturally is slower, but when you're not on a Zoom or streaming live, it'll be even more faster, just so you know. So just just be aware of that. This is not the normal speeds that you're going to see when you're actually in app.
Yeah, that really does make a big difference. Also, one of the things that I like to do is like if I plan on doing like a lot of work, especially if I'm live, I'll shut off all my browser extensions too, because man, that really it slows things down a lot. When you're connecting with Cloudflare, like this process isn't high level. This is the process of propagation. Okay, typically it's like they'll even tell you 24 to 48 hours for a domain to propagate, and it's basically just having like Cloudflare and high level talking to each other and saying, "Hey, we're going to put this domain here now." That's really all it is, but it's actually you can see how fast that was. All right, so we have our main root domain. Now we need to decide where do we want to connect it. So I recommend your main website. All right. Now, what do we want to be our default? Meaning, when we go to mycoachingbizName.com, what page do we want people to see? So I could choose the home page or I could choose the booking page or thank you. Most of us are going to choose the home page. And then about the 404 page, if you're unfamiliar with this, again, HighLevel makes it super simple. Basically, a 404 page is like if there's a broken link somewhere here in this domain, like for example, if I had a page that said, mycoachingbizName.com/special offer, and that special offer was over. If I have this set as a 404 page, then it's going to redirect all of those broken links to this page here. So, oh my gosh, again, super simple, something that used to be pretty complicated to set up. So now our domain is connected to our website. If we go back to our instructions here, you'll see now we need to connect our bio link. So I'm going to go back here. We're going to add another domain, but this time let's call Jane Doe, our coach Jane Doe. We're going to just use a subdomain. Okay, so if you're unfamiliar, subdomains are simply just a way to kind of reuse a domain. We're just going to create a new domain reusing the root here. Okay, so if we want our bio link to be connected to janedoe.mycoachingbizName.com, we just need to type it in there, put a dot, and then the root domain. So I'm going to click continue now. And again, it's going to connect to Cloudflare. It's going to add the records for us. And then it's going to send a message back to HighLevel and say, hey, we got it. It's all good. Now you can connect it to a funnel. So it just takes just a few minutes or a few seconds here. And I do want to, it's tempting sometimes, especially when you're live, to kind of rush through this and maybe not connect everything. But I also know from doing live streaming for the past like 5 years, I get so much feedback on when things don't always go right, you know, because when I'm not there, they're also going to have times when things don't go right. And so if I am live and I can show you what to do to solve that problem, now when I'm not there with you, you have the ability, you have the knowledge to solve it yourself. So same thing here, we're just going to connect this domain to our bio link so we don't have to create a new one and then go ahead and link that there. Now, the next domain that we want to connect is the blog domain. And you're going to see when we get to the blog part why this is important. But I like to compartmentalize my onboarding, especially when you're creating a sub account. So I want to get all the domains taken care of at once. And you'll see when we do the branding, all the branding at once. When we're dealing with communities, all the communities at once. And then it just makes your onboarding so much faster. Okay. So now we have the blog here. We're doing blog. Let's paste in our root domain. And you can see we're using the same domain for everything. And really we want to do that to be consistent with our branding. Because lots of times people will go to blog dot whatever it is, and then they're like, this is interesting. I want to see what the main website looks like. It's just another little way of being consistent, but also kind of giving that extra initiative, like, hey, go check out my
Yeah.
website.
And if you're following through on these almost step-by-step instructions, give us a one in the chat. If we're going too fast, give us a two in the chat and we'll slow down and re-emphasize or re-clarify things as you need. So post your comments. We're watching it. If you have questions, post those in as well. I see a ton of you jumped into the trial, so congrats to all of you that said yes and you're jumping into the trial. But we'll make sure you're in a good place and you find success with HighLevel in general, just FYI. So yeah, it says requires up to 30 seconds. Yeah, of course, it'll take more time since we're on a live stream.
There you go. All right, so we've added our domain there now, and the next step is our client portal. So to understand the client portal, and you guys can see as we're moving through these things, there's so much I could tell you about HighLevel. But again, I want you to compartmentalize this, okay? I don't want you to get overwhelmed with all the things that you can do in HighLevel because you will be. We have a task, we have a business to set up here, we have a checklist, and that's what we want to focus on, not all the other things, because as your business grows, you will realize, oh, I need to automate that. And guess what? 9 times out of 10, you have the tool to do it inside of HighLevel. So what we want to do here, we're already working with our domains. We want to add the domain to the client portal. Now, the client portal is one link that you have that's basically your membership area. And in the client portal, it houses your affiliate management. So if you decide to create affiliate campaign for your coaching business, you have that available inside here. Let me, um, it was confusing me. So you have that available inside of your client portal. Also, when you have courses that you create for your members, that's going to be in the client portal. When you have your communities, it's all going to be in the client portal with one domain. Okay. Now you determine through your workflows and different actions who's going to have access to what inside the client portal, but they're all going to have access to this domain. Okay. So I like to just say members and then add my domain here. So again, we're going to click add domain and continue, and it's going to add the records for us. So when this is set up, we could essentially, whatever, we could give everyone the link. People could even log in and create an account, and then that lead info goes right into our contact section, even though, like, let's say they just go to that link and then they register and we've not given them access to anything. They're not going to see anything. It'll be like blank pages, which is super cool. Now, they're also, if they, let's say that they have the affiliate, they're an affiliate of your program, but they're not actually a member. They're not going to be able to, oh, let me see. I guess it already, they're not going to be able to see those things that you have not given them access to. Even though everyone has access to that area, you determine in the workflows what parts of that area that they'll have access to. So now we've added a domain here to the client portal, which is members.mycoachingbiz. And you can see we're staying congruent here with the same domain. We didn't have to purchase like many domains and connect many domains to different things. We're just using the same domain. Now, the next thing is the email sending domain. This used to be so techy and complicated, and HighLevel made it easy. Now, the email sending domain, this is what I was saying is we want to make sure that when we're sending emails, we're sending them as our business. Okay. We want to make sure that we are protecting our domain, that it's, landing in the inbox, not the spam and all of that stuff. So I want to click here. I want to add my own branded domain. And what I typically do, this is going to be a subdomain, okay? Now the reason we're using a subdomain is because you can only use your root domain in one place, and that's your website, okay? So we need to add a subdomain just like we do our, our different funnels and things like that. So I like to just use email. You can use anything that you want to, and then I'm going to click add and verify. So it's going to give us all of these records, and we used to have to manually just copy and paste, and it wasn't hard, but again, it was time consuming. And what we want to do is save time. So I'm going to go ahead, click here. Again, we're going to go to Cloudflare, and you can see lots more records here, and it looks super techy, but we don't need to worry about it. We're just going to click authorize, and HighLevel adds all the records for us, except this one down here. Okay, so this one will manually add, and it's like it says, it's not required, but it will help you to increase your email delivery rate. So we're just going to copy this, and you'll see it's a TXT record. So when we go back to Cloudflare here, we're going to go into manage our domain, DNS records, and you'll see all the records that we've already added. So we didn't really have to do it. HighLevel did it for us. So it was a TXT record. So I'm going to click here under type, and I'm going to scroll down until I see TXT. Now, the very first part of that record, let me go back here, was here, and we copied it, right? So I'm just going to paste that in there. Now I'm going to go here, and I'm just going to copy this that it told us. You could also click here, copy, and that's going to be the value. Okay, so really that's the only record that you need to add, just exactly like it said. And now we're going to go back and let's go ahead and verify the domain. Now, sometimes this does take a while, but you can see that was super fast. I'm going to go back here now. Sometimes we want to refresh our screen. The little magic green arrow, that's what we're looking for. And that tells the system like, hey, all the records are good. We've verified, we've built the SSL, which is basically just saying it's verified and secure. And you'll see that it'll turn green here. Sometimes we do need to refresh a few times for it to happen. Go back. But eventually you will see this green arrow or green check mark. There we go. SSL issued. So now we are good. Okay. Email is set up. So now look how fast we're moving along here. And I'm taking all this time to explain this stuff to you. And look how fast this is going. This is awesome. Okay. Now here is the meat of the community. So let's go ahead and we're going to create two different communities. Okay, we have our client portal here. We've already connected the domain. Now we need to create two different groups. And the groups that we're going to create, communities or groups, same thing. The groups we're going to create are one for free members and one for paid members. So now let's go back into our HighLevel account. And you'll see if you go down to memberships, and we go to communities, you'll see first here that you have the settings here, right? That was for the domain. What I want to do is I want to go to the dashboard. Or I'm sorry. You have the branding. That's what I was trying to get to. So here, what we want to do is we can set up our client portal. Okay, so this is the client portal. I think I'm a little out of I'm actually doing this one first. We're going to set up the client portal. And when I don't know, let's just say that I am just brand new to HighLevel and I don't even know where this text is going to be, right? Because you might not know that. So I like to just say whatever this is, and then I can always come back. So I would say I would want to spell first. This is the title of the client portal or something like that, right? Or we'll just say client portal. And then I know now anywhere that I see client portal, if I need to change that because I put something else in there, I can just, I'll look client portal. Okay, that's where that is. And then same thing here. This is the client portal. It sounds so silly, but if you've ever built all of this out and you thought, oh, I shouldn't have put that text there. Now I don't know where to go back and find it to change it. Okay. So we have our client portal. Now you'll see we're getting into all the branding, right? Oh, thank you that we already have our branding already created for us. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this hex code because this is going to be our brand. And I'm just going to paste this here. Now let's move on to the next one. Here's my hex code. So I'm just going to copy this. I don't know why copy is not working well, but here we go. I'm going to copy this. And let's paste this here. All right, so now we have our two different brand colors, and oh, here's a favicon. So let's go ahead and add our favicon here. I think I'm in the wrong demo coach assets. So we have our favicon. I'll just go ahead and upload that. Now we have our portal image. I didn't create a portal image. That's super easy to create, or a banner image. And you may want to just create this first. Get a look of the, what your branding looks like and kind of where you want to put things. It's not required, but you can add a portal image and a banner image, and of course, add your branding. Let's go ahead and use the logo here, and let's create. Let's go in here and let's use this logo. And of course, we can put our support email. So it was info at our coaching business. Oops, isn't the last thing. So let's go back here. We're just going to copy this. And we have info at our coaching business. And of course, we could do Jane Doe coaching. If we have some advanced things like coding and things like that, of course, we could add that here. I love that HighLevel has all the advanced stuff, because I know there's so many advanced users, which really speaks volumes of the quality of the platform. But I'm not that techie. I don't do a lot of CSS and all of that. I just love all of the built-in branding customizations and things. Here also, you can choose your app permissions in your client portal. So when they log in to that domain, the members dot that we created, what do you want them to be able to see? They can see the communities, they can see the courses, and they can see the affiliate opportunity, and they'll be able to, or the affiliate management system, they'll be able to toggle between all of those. But if you don't have an affiliate campaign created, or you don't have courses, you may as well just leave your communities there, right? So let's just say, since all we're going to do is create communities, let's just leave that there. And then of course we can choose when they log in to members dot our domain, what do we want them to see? Do we want them to see the homepage, which has like their brand profile, or do we want them to see, just go right to the communities? I actually like to just send them right to the communities, because I put like a pinned post at the top to tell them like where everything is. And so I like to send them right to the communities. Okay. Now we've completely set up our client portal. So the next thing that we want to do is we want to set up our free community. So let's go back here now, and we're going to go to the memberships, and let's go to groups. So now we've set up the client portal, which houses our communities, and now we need to create the communities that is going to be in our client portal. So I'm going to create the first group, and I'm going to say free group. I'm going to say free group, 1 for organization, but for 2, just to be universal. So you guys can decide whatever you want to call it. Now the description, this is my free group. You guys know, if you've ever seen my videos, I'm a horrible speller. I grew up in like spell check generation. So I rely on, I rely on it for everything. Okay, so we have our brand colors again. Let's go back here. Oh, thank goodness. We just already have the hex code created for us, so we don't have to worry about it. So I'm going to add this here. And now we have our favicon. Let's just go ahead and add that. Here's our favicon. And we have a cover image, and let's just go ahead and add the logo since we have it. Let's just say this one, and create group. You guys, that was so complicated, right? We just created, there's our client portal we just saw. Now we've just created our free group. Okay, so let's go ahead. I already have my headshot here, so let's just use this. And of course we could add a bio if we want to, but let's just go ahead and complete. And you'll see the overview of communities. Okay, so you have all of your groups will be listed here. You have all of these channels, which you may want to create different channels according to different topics and things that you are discussing. I mean, there's like 1,000,001 ways for you to like structure all of these things. You also have the learning area. So if you did have a course that you want to add to to this community, basically, so all of the members of this free community would also have this course. I love using courses in the free community that will explain more about your business. Okay, essentially an onboarding course for non-customers, because what we want to do is use these communities to pre-qualify, like they're self-pre-qualifying. They're seeing our content. They're opting into our free community. They're seeing what's going on. And if we're a coach, obviously that's an important, it's almost like a trial, right? You're kind of trialing our coaching program. And then you have the course. It's a free course, and you're just going to explain to them how you help them. Give them an example. Give them a real world example of how, what you provide, what your business is all about, and how you're able to help them, packed full of so much massive value that they think you hung the moon and stars because you just answered so many of their questions. This is how we can charge $497 without having a sales team for our private consultations, because we've just told them everything. We haven't created the world's best sales copy. Okay. We haven't like had an entire sales team with scripts that they've read off and all of these things. We have just simply presented us, ourselves, and how we can help. That does the selling for us. If you guys, I hate selling. I hate selling so much. And that's why I focus on education. I love to empower people to decide for themselves if my program is the solution for them. Okay. And I give them so much information that there's no, I mean, by the time they sign up, they're ready to go. Like they already know everything about the program. They already, the stickiness, there's nothing that compares to that because they're so educated by the time they sign up, there's no churn, right? Even if they thought about churning, we have so much software that it's like they're building their business. Maybe they don't need our services anymore, which a great coach, after 3 months, I almost never see my members anymore because unless they have the occasional question, because they're diving into their business. They're using all of the tools and strategies that I've taught them to use to find success. And they don't maybe need my help anymore, but they're still involved in the software. They're still involved in the community. Okay, that's all my speech about that. If you want to see all of your members, they're all listed here. You can also see all the admins, contributors, requested, and of course, any that you've banned. And then we have the leaderboard. Every good community needs a leaderboard. Okay. This is one of the ways that you're going to encourage engagement, but you're also going to reward engagement. Okay. What a great reward for people basically managing your community for you. If you're rewarding people for answering questions, which is what this is all based on, the posting in the group and answering questions and, basically being your support team because they're engaged users. They know if yesterday, I had people in my community that were asking for the replay, and I had other members sharing the replay with them. That's so great, right? Because I didn't have to do that. I didn't have my VA do that. Other people were doing that. So that's really cool. So we can actually encourage them in our free group to engage. Okay. So that's super cool. So that's just basically our free community. And of course, you have settings here. You can click here and you'll see, of course, you can change the name, you can change the URL, you can make it public or private. And then here is where you're going to determine, do you want this to be available in the switcher? Meaning over here on the left-hand side, do you want them to see your paid group or do you want them to see your free group? If not, you could just share the direct link here for them to join. But again, that's a strategy you may use. I love to have the free and I love to have the paid group accessible to the free members. But I don't like to have the free group accessible to the paid members because sometimes they get confused as to where to post for help and all of those things. So again, it's one of those things, don't get overwhelmed by the options. Just know that that is an option should you need it. Now, this is a free group, so I want to open to public. There's no subscription created, but of course could, and we will for a paid group. And then we have the branding. So it's basically the same thing that I just set up here. If you ever need to change it, you have those options here. And we can even choose a theme. So do we like the light version? Do we like the dark version? We can choose all of that here. We can also choose these cool, of course, I love purple, huge fan of purple. But if you like any of these other colors, you can just quickly retheme it or rebrand it however you like. Okay. Now we do have the membership questions. This is really great, especially for a community, because we want to get to know them a little bit better. And we could even ask pre-qualifying questions that will help us if we are following up with them, right? So how much experience do you have? What type of business do you have? All of these things we can ask just before they join basically like a form. We can create our own form. And then here we want to choose, like I told you, we can reward our members. So here you can call your levels whatever you want. I love how HighLevel has um, like the commander and the like mission specialists and all those things. They do that for their affiliates. You totally could pick a theme and call your different levels whatever you want to and be very brand specific in that way and make it really fun. I mean, it's engagement, right? We want to make it fun. We want to encourage people to do the actions. And then also, what is your reward? So 10% off the first purchase is an example. So when they reach this milestone, what are you going to give them? And then also we can add links here, which is super cool. If you have a public group and you want the links to be off to the side, like I have, and for example, in a free group, I would have a link here that says how to become a paid member or join our pro, coaching program, whatever you want to say. And then you would just add the link here. Now, if you don't want that to be publicly accessible, you only want it to be available to the members of the group, you can toggle that on. But in this free group, we want that to be public, right? And then, of course, you have reported content because especially in communities, especially the free ones, you do want to monitor that and make sure no one's being spammy and contacting all of your members. Okay. So that is the basic rundown of the free group. So now let's refresh because we created that free community. Now we need to create a paid community. This is if we go back to our value ladder here. You can see, here we go. You can see here, we've created our free community. This is our call to action for everything that we're doing, all the content that we're putting out. Join our free community, join our free community, because it's not just about collecting the contact info, but it's also part of our pre-qualification process, basically our funnel that we're creating here. All right, so we have our free group. Let's go ahead and create our paid group now. So we're going to say paid group. And we can, of course, change the slug. This is our paid group. And then now we have our branding. Oh, let's choose another color. Okay, so nice that we have all of this ready for us to go. And now we're going to add this here. All right, so now we have our color, and of course we can add that favicon here. So let's just add that. And we could add the cover image and a logo. Let's just go ahead and add this logo, choose this one. And we're going to create our paid community. All right, we just saw our client portal loading up. Now we have our paid group, okay? So same thing, learning, members, leaderboard, all the same settings, okay? Announcements, different channels, but you'll see here now we have toggle over to the free group, okay? We have that ability. Now, what I want to do is come back to the settings, and you can see here, if I scroll down, if I don't want this to be accessible, I can just toggle that on there. Okay, I'm just going to leave it on just for today. Now, we want this to be private because this is a private group. We don't want our free members to be able to join. And we don't want them to be able to not join. We don't want them to be able to see our content from our private group. Okay, we're probably sharing like massive amounts of value and resources and all of that stuff. We don't want free members to be able to access our group. So here we're going to choose our subscription. So what are you going to charge for joining this paid group? And again, I do want to address pricing again, because whatever people ask this all the time, okay? And hard for me to tell you what to charge because, like I said, I charged $47 even for my coaching program when I first started. I charged $47 a month. And again, it's because I was new. I was still providing massive amounts of value, but I just was new and really honestly insecure. I didn't have reviews. I didn't have the big YouTube channel. I didn't have any of those things. And so I just really made it low cost because I needed to build my brand and I needed to build a network of people who knew, liked, and trusted me. And so that was my most important thing when I first got started. So don't think if you're like a brand new coach with not a lot of experience, you need to charge $9.97 and then wonder why no one's joining your paid paid community. Okay. Build that network, because as you build your network, as you build your influence and the people who know, like, and trust you, the price goes up and up and up and up and up. It's so crazy. But again, because your time becomes more valuable, you can charge more.
Yeah.
So,
And one thing I've learned in the world of coaching is it's much better to go after the volume and beginners in a sense versus advanced groups. Like, don't ever build the program to take people from good to great. You want to build the business that take people from bad to good.
mhm,
And the reason why is because for you to take people from good to great, you have to identify people that are already good. And typically, it's an impossible task to figure out who's really good and then qualify them. Just because they're good doesn't mean they're qualified. So the pool of people that you're playing with when you are focused on an advanced program is very, very small, which is why typically you have to charge a lot more and because you want to make sure it's worth your time. So I recommend people charging less than $10 or $50 and going after an audience that is brand new to marketing or sales or whatever expertise versus trying to identify folks that are already, in their journey with entrepreneurship or, in their journey of the expertise itself. Hopefully that gives you some ideas.
yeah, and that's a really good point, and that's also why we're putting this, like, basically at the bottom of our value letter, right? Because the free community, it's going to be filled with beginners. I mean, it'll be filled with some experts, but it's going to be filled with a lot of beginners. And then the paid community, they're kind of people who have, like, leveled up a little bit. They're a little bit past pay. I mean, obviously, in the free community, it's like lots of beginners and all that. But the paid people, what you know about them already is they've gone a step in your funnel, right? They're no longer free members. They're probably definitely more familiar with you. They've probably put into place a lot of the things
Yeah.
and strategies that you're talking about. They're more engaged in your community. And so they're moving themselves through your funnel. And that's why
Yeah.
when we're talking about if they're engaged in your paid community, what do you think the chances are they're going to
Yeah.
be upgrading to the software you're teaching them to use, the system that you're teaching them to use? And then as they're using that system, they're going to run into problems because they're a little bit more advanced now, and maybe they need extra steps in their automations because they're getting
Mhm.
lots of leads. Now they're booking private sessions because they have specific needs that they need resolved. Okay. So that's why
Mhm.
as they're moving up that value ladder, you're moving up the price also, but you're also moving up their level and their experience and their willingness to invest. So by the
Yeah.
time they get up here, I mean, the people who book private coaching sessions with me are multimillionaires. They're like doctors, they're chiropractors, they're people who have established businesses and they're looking for someone to help them kind of break through a barrier. They need to move to the
Yeah.
next step and they're not really sure how to do it. And then of course you have services. Services are pretty
Yeah.
self-explanatory. Um, but basically what we're doing, maybe people will want to purchase services, but in our coaching program, we want to think about all these stages. It's not just about the value ladder and what we're going to make from it. It's also an entire pre-qualification process that they need to go through to to basically to move up our ladder. We want to walk
Yeah.
them through this value ladder through our processes.
Yeah. And just to add a thought to that conversation there on the value ladder, when you're building a business around education or information, there is a huge difference in looking at it from a competency level. Are you moving people from free to paid because of their competency level? Because if you are, I personally feel like it's a mistake. The way you should look at it is commitment level,
Mhm.
right? Commitment level is different than competency level because doesn't like for me, the difference between the 97 and the 297 and the 497, it's not necessarily your expertise in technology or automation, because in reality, all features outside of some SaaS stuff lives in all plans for us at high level. But the commitment level to you building a business at the 497 level is a whole lot different, regardless of your competency. So That's something you want to pay attention to in the early stages of building an education-oriented community world. Don't pay too much attention to the competency. It's too early in the game to like derail the traffic or bifurcate the traffic or just too early in the brand build out.
Mhm.
Later on, you could build certifications. Now we're finally, after 5 years, launched a certification program because now we're paying attention to the competency level for certain people that want to be labeled as someone who's more competent, right? So pay attention to what High Level is doing and how we build out the communities as well. Hopefully that gives you some ideas.
Yeah, and that's so like a dead on point, right? Because this our communities have nothing to do with competency. It doesn't even really have to do with financially anything, especially if it's a low ticket paid community, which yeah, most of them should be. But what this has told us about their commitment level is they've seen enough free to think, okay, I'm diving into this. I'm more interested. I want the additional help, right? They've already decided for themselves about this. Now, if they're paying for access to the community, they're going to be more engaged because it's not free, right? They've already decided at the free level, they're willing to invest their money, which means they're also more than likely to invest their time. Not always, especially if it's low ticket. Sometimes they sign up and forget they're even a member. But chances are if they're in the paid community, they're more invested. So they're more committed. And they're also, what's super, super cool about a community is it's not just about you and the coach, it's about really the whole community. I love to see my members in there, like, especially open office hours, like helping each other, brainstorming ideas, having like different levels of experience and different knowledge and different topics. It's really, that's what the community is all about. It's not about me teaching everybody stuff and coaching people. It's about getting a large group of people that are working on the same thing in the same place to help one another. This is absolutely one of the reasons I created a community, because when I first started out, I was struggling and I had no one to talk to, and no one to be like, I'm so stuck right now. How do I get through this? I'm so frustrated. I haven't made any sales this month. I don't know how to make the sales. How do I get leads? Here's my system. How do I make it work for me? And then even like the wins and losses, it's like I remember one time I built my first webinar funnel. I mean, it was just, I spent months on it. And I left my office and I told my husband, oh my gosh, I have just built the world's best funnel. Oh, it's going to be amazing. I just know it. As soon as I launch it, we're going to be millionaires. That didn't happen at all. And then there was one time that I did do that. And so, not millionaires, but that I did launch a funnel. It was really, really great. But even in both of those times, I didn't have people to say, "Oh man, I just really blew it. I don't know I don't know what changes to make." So what happened was I struggled, trial and error, and then I finally had a good working funnel. And then when I'm getting leads and I'm making sales, who do I have to talk to and say, "Guess what? I did it. Yay." I had no one. And so that's wanted to create a community because it can be lonely when you're working in your office all the time, just head down and in your business and all that. And you need a community of people. It's why I love the high level group too. You need a community of people who know your struggles and who understand how to help you push through that because they've been there.
Yeah, and this changes completely as soon as you attend your first mastermind and your first conference. It'll be beyond just the community features. You'll build, honestly, lifelong relationships, and we've seen it across the board. And that is not a plug to come to an event. I'm just saying go to a event. In
Yeah,
general, it usually is a great move for an entrepreneur that's starting off because the journey it can definitely be lonely. You can't
yeah,
celebrate wins, you can't, steam out losses. Like neither
yeah.
is possible quite often. But let's keep going. So you're building out the communities inside the high level app.
Yeah. So now we're working on our paid, right? So since we're talking about 47 a lot, let's just say $47. Of course, at this level, we should have already decided what are we going to offer them? Is it going to be, what is going to be so compelling? Because when I think of $47, okay, if I'm charging $47, really how much, like I need to give them $470 worth of value a month if I'm charging $47. I relate everything to the 10X, okay? So what is valuable enough at $470 a month that would make this like a no-brainer to them? And that's honestly, it could be different for every single niche. But we want to think about what do they need that I can provide for them that they'll be using. I love software for that reason. It's like it's just I mean, they're building their businesses. They're even if it's the social media plan. I mean, pick one high level tool that you're going to give them at $47 a month. The social media planner. If they're doing business or something, like that's a no brainer, right? Those are some options for software or any other software that you're promoting, but high level, there's so many tools and you already have access. So it's a no-brainer. All right. So obviously this is going to be reoccurring. Do you want to offer a trial? Maybe we could. We could say 14 days. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of trials because you have to definitely send them reminders to say, hey, your trial's almost over. You're going to be billed and da 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 da. And I'm just not a big fan of trials, but you can put there one if you want to. And I love one of the things that I talk about all the time is testing your system. And a lot of people don't do it. And honestly, I feel like from my experience, the reason that people don't do it is because testing can be super overwhelming. How do you create a fake transaction without using like your credit card and all of those things? How do you create like a fake appointment, so that you can see if all of your appointments and all of those, reminders are going out. Definitely test. And I love how high level at almost every step they just have, oh, you want to test it? Just toggle this on. You can use fake info and you're good to go. So I'm going to go ahead. Let's just say instead of turning this on test mode, we're just going to say add price. All right, so now we've created our paid group with a $47 a month price. And of course, we could adjust any of our branding, change the themes. We could add questions here if we want to. We could add our gamification. We could add any links that we want. And then, of course, same thing, we have reported content. So I'm going to go ahead and save this now. And if we refresh our screen, you would be able to see, well, I have access to this group, but if I was in the free group and I toggled over to the paid group, you would see this option here. So I'm the owner, so you're not going to see it right now. If I went to, let's go to incognito window. And then you'll be able to see what they see. Okay, so when a non-member sees your paid membership, they won't be able to see any of the posts. They won't be able to see any of the learning, the leaderboard, and so on. Okay, but they will see this option here. So they will be able to, we said 14-day free trial. So when they enter in their info here, it's going to send them to pay or to do their trial, right? And what I love about this is even if they don't pay, you still captured the lead. So now you know this person is interested in your paid program. Okay. So that's basically communities. Okay. So if I refresh my screen now, you'll be able to see both my free and paid community. So let's go back here now, and we are on day 2 here, and now we have set up the free group, we've set up the paid members for our clients, and then also we've set up the client portal. So now this is the part that I love so much. Let me show you. Okay, so there's our communities. Let me show you the websites that I've created in here. Now you'll see if I go to look at this coaching website, that there's a lot of things missing right now. Okay, there's no logo up here. There's no like color. That was a button. There's no color. There's no image here. Like it kind of looks like a blank website. Okay, because what we have done and what HighLevel allows us to do is create a snapshot like this. Okay, where we really don't have the branding. Okay, if I open this up, you'll see if I'm looking at the editor right now, you'll see up at the top I have load. I have the banner. Okay, so this says broken image. And if we go down here to where the image is, this is the custom value. Okay, so we can add, and then here's another custom value for a location name. So you can add this into the text. So what I've done is I've swapped out the logo, like the placeholder with an image. I've swapped out some of the text. So this will say whatever the location business name is. This will be a button that is a color of whatever we decide to put in. This will be overridden by your profile, your headshot. This will be overridden by your name, the location name, and the owner's first and last name. And then lots of you'll see like none of this is even here because lots of them are custom values. Okay. So let's go to the custom values. And when we fill out these custom values, it's actually going to fill out the coaching website, the bio link, all of the automations, and basically our entire account. So let's go to settings and let's go to custom values. And you'll see we have two folders here. I like to organize in folders. And you'll see to complete the custom values, let's start with the branding folder first. Okay. So we are in branding now, and you'll see now what we need to do is upload our favicon, our headshot, our primary color, and all of that. Now we already have uploaded it, but we need to get the links from those. And, this is something else that HighLevel makes super easy because I used to wonder, how in the world do I get a link for an image? It's not really that easy because if you want to use it to store images and things like that, basically like in the cloud, you have to have a specific link that will allow you to do that. And that's not really that easy to find. Okay. You can't just share a link to your Google Drive and then have it show up. Okay. So it needs to be a link like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab like a little cheat sheet here, my little checklist. And what I want to do is I want to grab the link of this headshot. Okay, so I'm going to, you can click here, get the link. Okay, so this is my headshot link. Let me just type in headshot. I mean, I could add it to my checklist, but we'll just say headshot here. Or actually, let's just do that. So we have our favicon. All right, so we have, where's my headshot? Down here. Okay, here we go. Sorry, I lost myself. All right, so we have our headshot. I'm just going to paste this link there just for easy. Now, the next thing that we need is our favicon. So I'm just going to right click, get the link, add this to the favicon. And the next thing that we need is this is the dark logo. So let's go ahead and add the logo, and let's get the light logo, and we're going to add our logo here. All right. So you see how easy this is when we're prepared with all of our things. Okay, so now I have all the links that I need. Let's go back now to the custom values and go back to our folders and go back to branding. And so now we have our favicon. So I'm going to click these three dots here and I'm going to edit here for the custom value. So what I'm doing is I'm basically saying everywhere in this account that this little code is, I want HighLevel to replace it with what I'm pasting in here. Okay. So I have my favicon. All right. So let's grab this link. Let's copy this. Let's go back now to the custom value and we're going to paste that in. Now, the next one is our headshot. So let's go get our headshot here and let's copy this. And we're going to just paste that in to the headshot and update. Now we have our primary colors. I actually put them on this here. So let's go primary colors. All right, so same thing here. We're just going to click the three dots, add to custom values, and we're going to paste in our primary color. Let's go ahead and get our secondary color now. And we're going to paste in here our secondary color. And then now we want to add our third color here. And here we go, third color. And update. Okay, so now our next things we have left here is let's see what it is, the dark and light logo. So let's go ahead and grab the dark logo first. We're back here now. The dark logo is primary It's so funny when you're live. Sometimes you can not see things that are right in your face. All right, here we go. I'll be looking for things all over and have people in my chat like, it's right there. Like, ew. I always say coaching goes both ways. You know, sometimes my community, they coach me too. All right, so we have the light logo now. Let's see here. We have our light logo. All right, let's copy this. Okay, you guys are going to see the magic. Oh my gosh, this is so, so cool. Okay, update. All right, so now what we have done is we have literally set the branding for this entire account. Okay, now what this means is I can go back to the websites that we just saw, okay, with all the missing pieces, and I can click here. And now if we look at this live version of the website, now you'll see that I have my logo up at the top here. We have colors now. We have our, the name is filled in, our location name. We have our headshot here. We have our, you know, all of the colors and everything that we have available. And you'll see, and even in the footer, we have all of that. Now, this is for both of these funnels, but imagine if you had like 100 funnels. You could duplicate that. You could provide however many. You could build a whole system of like lead magnets and like different websites and like courses. You can even duplicate courses and share. I mean, all of these things are completely duplicatable inside of HighLevel. So no matter if I had 9 trillion websites built into this account, as soon as I filled in those custom values, they would all be updated. You guys, there's no, I challenge you to find a better duplicatable system than that. That is just phenomenal. Okay, so I could talk about HighLevel all day, and I actually do. So uh, so let's go now. We're moving through our system. Okay, so now we're in the business info, and that is another folder inside of our custom values. Okay, so I'm going to go back to custom values and go back to folders, and now you'll see we have business info. So in order for us to use these custom values, just like the branding, what we want to do here is instead of branding, we want to use this for actions. Okay. So on the websites, wherever it says join our or log into the client portal, it has this little code here. And as soon as we put the link to our client portal, it will now pre-fill in all of those. So it's not just images, it's also the actions, the buttons, the things that take place, right? So, oh my gosh, I hope your brains are exploding with the duplication because mine are, maybe I have multiple brains. I don't know, but my brain is exploding. Okay, so let's get the client invite link. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I don't know if you guys know this, but to make it easy so I'm not bouncing around, I'm just going to go up here, right click and duplicate so that I can open up a new window. I'm going to close some of these out because like Paulson and I were just saying, sometimes your system gets bogged down with all of the stuff. Okay, so let's just bounce over here and let's get our client invite link. So I'm going to go now to my sites. Let's go into actually settings and let's go to domain. And now I think I need to refresh my screen, but it was members. There we go. Members dot whatever my domain that I bought for this. Here we go. See, I never rely on memory because it fails me. Okay, so my client invite link. All right, business info. Now, oh, I'm sorry, that was for the client portal. Wrong one. If you guys ever, here's something cool. And again, sometimes I do things wrong live, but it's okay. We're human beings, right? And honestly, if I was perfect all the time, it'd be super boring to watch. I don't like watching perfect people. So, the client invite link, I put in the wrong spot. But look, all we need to do is just click here and we're just going to paste that there and update. And then now let's put the correct client invite link. Okay, so let's go back now to our client community, which is the paid community. Okay, so let's go back here to memberships and let's go to communities and we can go into our paid group and we're going to go click invite members and we're going to copy this link here. So that's the link that we want to invite people to join our paid membership. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, go back now to my custom values and folders and business brand, I'm sorry, business info. Now let's put the correct link in here because this is our client invite link. All right. Now update. Now that should be branded to me. Okay. Sorry, guys. I obsess about these things. Let's go back here because that should have been branded to me. And sometimes when I'm live, I overlook things and I want to make sure that I teach you the right things. Let's go back to domains. I need to enter this again. Because this link should be 100% branded to you. Okay, that's one of the cool things about using this system as opposed to some other systems that you can use for communities, because you can brand this to your own business. We want them logging into our brand. We want them to always be with our brand. We don't want other people logging into like the software and seeing everyone else's communities. We don't want that, right? We want to have our own branded community where we can control all the things and all the access that's happening. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and let that connect because all of those links should be branded to you. Okay. So now we've got that. All right. So let's go back here now into our settings and go into our custom values and our folders and business. Okay, so then now we have our free community invite link. So let's go back here. Let's go to our free group. And what I'm going to do is click here to invite members. I'm going to take this and copy it. And let's just paste this in here. All right, and then now we have our main website. So what is our main website? Guess what? It's this. It's that simple. Whatever it is that we want to send people to, our main offer. So I'm going to
And
say,
and custom values is beyond just communities, just in general,
oh,
just so you all know. It's
yeah,
something you can apply across the board. I've seen people build out emails with custom values. It's
yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, it's for the entire account. Like you can use custom values, yeah, like in emails, in your workflows, and on your websites, on the text of your website. You can even add custom values like on a thank you page and say, thank you, Paulson, for signing up for our program. I mean, there's so many cool things that you could
Yeah.
do. Okay, so go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead, go ahead. I'm
Uh,
trying my best to stay out of the way so we can cover as much ground today. There's a lot today.
Yes, it is a lot. But I also think, and this is why I kind of had to break it up. I knew today was going to be heavy. Um, but it's really important to, like I said, compartmentalize, get your branding on point, get all these like files and the colors and all that ready. And then once you start with this SOP, you're just pounding through. And I am taking a lot of time explaining and all that. But if I was sitting here, I'm serious because I do this all the time. I could legit do this in 15 minutes. Okay. So this is a very fast process when you're organized. You have to be organized. Okay, so let's talk about, now that we've set everything up, let's talk about like the customizations, okay? Because not everything is a custom value, but there are things that I want to make sure that when you import this into your own HighLevel account, that you know exactly what to do, okay? So inside of the bio link, what we're going to do is we're going to go into here, into the bio link. And to edit this funnel, we just simply need to click the edit button and click to open. I like to open in a new tab. I have a million trillion tabs, but I open everything in a new tab, but it's up to you. So when it opens up, you'll see we have the editor up here. The only thing that you really need to do is just click here. And of course, you want to put your Facebook page. You want to put your Instagram link, okay? Because remember, the purpose of a bio link is this goes on social media. Really, the only thing that we need here is social things, right? Here's where you can follow us or me here, okay? And then also I want to invite you to my paid community and my free community. Allow them to choose and then book the appointment, right? This is a very basic page. And the reason it's basic is because someone has to have seen us somewhere, right? Maybe they saw a video we did on Facebook profile, or maybe they saw like our YouTube video or whatever. But they're clicking here and we're just a quick example of what we offer. Okay. So it's almost like a menu in the form of a landing page. It's just very simple and basic. And this is so helpful. And honestly, since your hot traffic is going here, it's incredibly converting, a lot more converting than having a whole bunch of copy and a whole different bunch of options and your blog and all these things. And that's why I say make your main coaching website where you house all of your assets, like your blog and your reviews and all those great things. But have your bio link be like, here's me, here's a button to do this, here's a button to do that. And you may have like your community and then several other things that you offer. Maybe you have affiliate links and maybe you have like a bunch of other things. The bio link is a really great way to do that. So all you're doing there is just adding your social media links to that area. Okay. Everything else was updated when we added the custom values. Now the edit the coaching website. Okay. So let's now go back to the coaching website. And same thing here, we're going to go to the home page. We've already connected our domain. So I'm going to click here to open this up. And you'll see on this page that we do have, all the custom values have been updated, but you'll see that we have, of course you want to edit the copy, right? But you'll see that custom values are here for your location name, so you don't need to worry about changing. There's nothing that you need to actually change. You just need to add your own, like, we're all coaches in different niches, right? So what is the result that you offer that you can get them fast without their specific pain points? These are the things that we talked about in day one that you want to have in your mind, because that is going to be your focus for everything. If you are my client, I need to be your absolute best friend. Okay. I need to be the person where you think in your head, oh man, I really need that. But I've already created it because I'm like 25 steps ahead of you. I already know what you need because I'm your coach. Right. So these are the things that you need to think about so that you can formulate your business around the solutions that your perfect client will need. So again, this link is going to be updated because it's going, once you get your calendar, this link is updated with the custom values. If you don't have a blog, just delete it. If you don't have reviews yet, just delete it. I mean, don't overthink this, right? Don't not launch your business because you think that you need to have a bunch of blog posts. Okay. I'm actually going to show you in just a minute how, actually tomorrow, I'm going to show you how you can actually have AI write your blog post for you. So it's
Oh,
like
wow.
seriously so
Okay.
easy.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah, you could even have it create images. Images using AI. What is so crazy? Okay. So your basic plan. So what are you offering basic? What are you offering for the paid version? Okay. Now you'll see this is very simple. Okay. Don't overthink this, and then add some common questions. All right. You should definitely know what you're going to offer basic and what you're going to offer pro. But look, here's the thing. Okay. You don't even have to like really consume yourself with all of this stuff, because if you are a total beginner and you're like, look, I need to launch this today. I need to get started today because I'm an action taker. I've already created a free trial, or I'm already with HighLevel. I need to get the system set up. I need to start getting some leads. I have my paid community created. I'm ready to rock and roll. Just share the bio link. Okay. Because again, your content is going to sell for you. The content is really what's going to bring, and we'll talk more about this tomorrow with the live streaming and how you can really set all of this up to like literally be available 1 hour a day. It's my 4 hour workday strategy. But there's no copy you need to worry about, right? It's literally your image, a bunch of places they can contact you at, and then join my free community, join my paid community, or book an appointment. Okay. So we don't need to worry at this point. If you're a total beginner, what you need to focus on is, now the system is created, what you need to focus on is the content and getting leads. Don't be a lifetime learner. I see it all the time. People think they need to be an expert in all things marketing, all things high level to launch a system. And that is absolutely going to be your biggest obstacle. Follow the process and follow the steps, get a working system, then focus on leads. Okay. So let's look back at our checklist now. We've talked about editing, all of that. Now, the last step here, this is something that I added at the last minute because I really think it's super important. Okay. When you're the agency owner and you're creating accounts, sub accounts. Okay. Right now, you can see that I am logged in as myself. Okay. Let me move this up. I'm logged as myself. So I'm the agency owner. And when I go into settings here, I won't see my profile. Like there's a section here that says my profile because I'm logged in as the agency user. So for me to be able to connect my Zoom account and set up my like personal availability hours, I need to be logged in as a user. So when you guys create your HighLevel account, you create your own branded like white label domain, you need to make sure that you're always logging into your own white label domain as your own user. And you can see I'm in my staff right now and I don't have any staff, right? There's no users to the account. If a customer had signed up using SAS, this would already have been created for them. I wouldn't have to worry about it. But as
Mm.
a account on the other plans, I need to always make sure that I'm setting up the user with the account as well. So I'm going to click here and you can see that you can manually add a contact here. So every user of the sub account needs to make sure that they have a domain or an email address using that same domain. And the reason is because if you're sending emails from a Gmail account and you're sending it using a professional email sending domain, it looks like spam. It's really super like, ugh, it's so icky and unprofessional. So definitely use every user, make sure that they have the email address that is this one here. Okay, so it needs to be, maybe you have Bob that is working for you. He's your VA. Bob needs to have like Bob at mycoachingbizname.com. You need to have like Jane Doe at mycoachingbiz.com or info or whatever you want. I mean, it can be just one, but every user that's sending and receiving messages needs to have their own professional email address. Okay. Now here is where you're going to be able to attach the calendar. You can add your own signature. You can also set the user permissions. And remember, on the SAS plan, this is created automatically. You could say on this SAS plan, when a user gets created, I don't want them to have access to all these things, and it will automatically be toggled on. If you're on the 297 or the 97 plan, you just need to manually do this. Okay. So and then we have the user roles. So user roles, we have the admin is the admin of the account. They're the ones who are able to see like payment information, things like that. And then a user role, obviously they can't see the payment information and they're going to have access to whatever you give them access to here. So the call settings, you can also create and store your phone number here. You can also use WhatsApp. You can actually have it call inside the mobile app. You guys, HighLevel has the coolest mobile app, Lead Connector, super, super cool. It's not branded to HighLevel, so your clients can use it. They can access all the CRM tools just directly on their phone. We even have an app now for the communities and the membership area. This is so cool because you can literally respond. If I was to get an email or a Facebook message or anything like that, in the mobile app, I can just look, oh, okay, now I need to respond to this person. I could literally click a button, record a video, and then send it to them just using the mobile app. So, so cool. Okay. So we have forward calls and all of those things you even can do. So in case you guys didn't know, you can actually accept calls too, not just on the mobile app, but inside the browser. Oh my gosh, it's just getting, see why I get super excited and geeked out about. So here is the magic part though. This, I get a lot of questions about this, so I wanted to make sure to let you guys know where to set this. Inside of the reminder emails and inside of your calendar, you're going to see in lots of places where it says, where is the meeting location? When you connect your Zoom account, or let's say that you have like your own link. You know, maybe you're using something that's not Zoom or Google Meet, or it's not a physical address or a phone number, and you want to just add your own link there, you can. Of course, you can connect Zoom, and you see it's easy. It just prompts me to connect Zoom. If I had my Google account connected, it would ask me if I wanted to use that. But even if you're seeing people in person, you can say, okay, our meeting is going to be whatever the location address is. Okay. And then the same with phone number. So however you're taking your meetings and your calls, you can set this up. Now, most of us use Zoom. So when you're using Zoom, what's cool is it will actually, when the appointment is booked, if it's talking to Zoom, it says, hey, Zoom, create an event and then send us back the link. And then so Zoom creates the event, sends back the link, and it pre-fills that into the appointment reminders so that each person has their own individual link and they're not all going to your personal meeting and popping in whenever they want to. So that's really important. And then we have the available hours. So aside from the calendar hours are what hours you're going to be booking appointments on that calendar. Your personal profile hours are the hours that you personally are available. If you're a one-person team, it's not that big of a deal. But if you have multiple users and multiple, team members in your account, if you have like maybe Linda only works on Mondays and maybe Jim works on Wednesdays, Linda and Jim can set their available times. And when appointments come in, it's going to be dispersed based on availability. I mean, there's so many combinations and things like that, but just to tell you the functionality. So even if you don't need it now, you have those options in the future. Okay. So
Yeah,
these are
if
all.
you're running like a sales team as well, you could even create preferences of someone who converts better, and where you can say 80% of traffic should go to Linda versus 20% should go to Jim in
Yeah.
that same analogy as well. There's a lot of different capabilities with high-level calendars now.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I just say like the sky's the limit in reality because I do these coaching calls all the time. And it just blows my mind the different ways people use HighLevel. And it's like sometimes, people will join us in the open office hours and they'll say, hey, I have this problem. And then it's like one person says, oh, yeah, I had that problem too. And I solved it like this. And then I might have a different suggestion. And somebody else is like, oh, yeah, and here's what I did. So it's like, it's so cool. One, it's awesome to have a community where you can, brainstorm and things like that. But it's also so cool that, like I said, there's a million and one ways to do things. And we don't want to get overwhelmed thinking about all that. But it's also nice to know that even if we don't need it now, keeping it in the back of our minds of, oh, when I need that, I know that that's available. So that's priceless, to be honest.
And
Okay, so let's make
how
sure.
much more do we have left? I do know we're getting close to the top of the hour, and we do have to wrap up here quickly.
Yeah, well, that's good timing because I'm done.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yep, I'm all good.
Um,
We're at the bottom of our checklist. Our system is set up. It's all branded to us. Even our calendar is set up. You guys, all the domains are connected. This entire account is ready to rock and roll. Now, tomorrow we're going to talk about traffic because what good is a system if we're not sending traffic? So I'm super, super excited to show you guys. Let me stop sharing so you can see my face, but I'm super, super excited to show you guys what has taken me 5 years to streamline and what I feel is perfected as far as it comes to really building. It's not just a business, right? We really want to build a life and a day that makes us excited to wake up every morning when we think about what we have to do that day.
Absolutely. Give us a one in the chat if you have learned lots of new nuggets on how Bridget went through and showed the high level setup, the way she handles it. Obviously, a ton of time and years went behind that. A lot of trials and tribulations and things not working, and frustrations and tickets and all kinds of things go behind being able to share all this for a couple of hours. So tomorrow is day three, and that's going to start at 12 o'clock EST. That's New York time for those of you that are international. And again, if you don't mind, Bridget, can you explain the offer on this workshop? I do know you showed a lot of things that's part of the snapshots. You are providing a community. Can you just review real quick on why they should jump into a trial today with the workshop?
So first of all, the special thing is if you create a trial before midnight New York time, tomorrow we're going to do a drawing. So of the new trials from today before midnight, we're going to do a drawing. So you will enter to win a free private consultation with me, which I say my time is my most valuable asset. And it's not just me, it's everyone, right? Paulson, your time is your most valuable asset. We can't duplicate it, right? But of course, I'm going to give you everything that you saw today. I'm going to give you the snapshot. I'm going to give you that entire checklist, the SOP, all the things so that you can quickly get set up. And I also want you to duplicate that. Okay. Use it for your clients. You duplicate the funnel the SOP, the whole system, because I want you to think about it's not just you and your business if you're a coach, right? You want to create these duplicatable systems. If it works for you, it's going to work for other people. All right. So I'm definitely going to give you that. You also can, of course, join me um, 4 days a week for open office hours. So you can see my community, all the cool things. And then, of course, you get all my standard bonuses if you create a trial through me. So of course, my help 5 days a week, join our weekly Q&A session. I also have a complete done for you system as well that's completely separate from this. This is a strictly high level exclusive system that I'm giving you guys in this workshop. So my system you get as well, really unlimited. Unlimited support. You guys, it's so crazy. I think if any of my members are now watching in the comments, they're probably going nuts right now because they're like, "Whoa, I can't even believe you're giving it's so crazy." So I really encourage you guys, be an action taker. Jump into high level, get the system set up. I promise you, you're going to save so much time that you're going to increase sales because now you have time, right? But also it just frees you up to not be like working so much in your business that you can't work on your business. And that's really important. And it's a struggle that we all experience.
I love it. Well, for those of you that are watching, again, the way you jump into a trial is by going to gohighlevel.com/Bridget Barlett offer. And that's different than Bridget's regular affiliate link. This is specifically for the workshop itself, so you get the added bonuses and specials and everything. But either way, we'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording so the files are not so big and our production team won't be upset with us. So, but either way, we'll see you tomorrow for day 3. Tomorrow is around traffic. Can you give us a quick preview of tomorrow?
Oh my gosh. You guys, seriously, I'm gonna bring it tomorrow. Okay, you thought this today was a lot. I'm gonna bring it tomorrow because I want to give you a system and a day. Okay, I always talk about it's your day, right? I want to give you a day, a workflow where you wake up and you know exactly what you're gonna do and check those things off. And we're talking about literally, I want you to work 1 hour a day, and I want you to provide your content creation, your live stream, your open office hours, your sales calls, all of that we want to get done in an hour. And I'm going to show you how to do that tomorrow.
Oh my goodness, I'm excited. We'll see you tomorrow at day 3. That's 12 o'clock EST. Same link, same everything. We'll see you in the Zoom or the live stream, whichever one. 12 o'clock EST. That's New York time for those of you that are international. Bye for now. Take care.